What a way to end the year. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm DJ Strick, and with me today I have Alec Johnson, who's hanging out with me again. Alec, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, thanks. It's great to be back again.
And he's not here with us, but he's chiming in definitely. There he is,
Hey,
Kirk. R. Nugent says, let's go, Kirk, man. Thank you for, of course, chiming in, and you're always welcome, guys. What a way to end the year. This is the last stream show of 2025. And can you believe that, man? Do you believe that we've made it to the end of this year?
I don't know where it's gone. I said to you last week, I didn't. I blinked and I missed the whole year. It's been in a good way, though. We just had so much packed into it, but it's just flown for me at least.
It has definitely flown by, and I appreciate things. I appreciate, to be honest, Alec, I appreciate things not going off the rails. Okay.
That's exactly.
Here in the States,
always
we
nice.
just expected things to go off the rails, and it hasn't happened so far. So we're still kind of hanging in there. The financial and the economy is kind of just hanging in there. At any point, the rug could just be pulled. But we've been saying that for at least 3 years now, and nothing has happened. So I am so grateful that things are the way they are, or as well as they are. And we just celebrated Christmas last week. How was your Christmas?
Oh, fantastic! Got 3 young kids, so yeah, always going to be fun. Christmas dinner for 14 we had round, so I was
14?
busy in the kitchen most of the day actually.
That's awesome, man. That's the way to celebrate Christmas, with a lot of friends and a lot of family coming by and just having a good time. I had a lazy Christmas this year, so I didn't go to any kind of family functions. My kids came over, and they're all big kids now. And they came over for a little while during Christmas, and we sat around and watched sports all day. Like, why not?
Yeah.
That was all day, and
time
then
for
my
fun,
wife did tell me we're going to watch, like 2 nights in a row, we watch Christmas shows or Christmas movies. And I watched, I think it's called The Christmas Chronicles.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Have you seen that? So there was one.
Yeah,
there was 2.
My kids like that. Yeah.
Well, I've watched it, so we have the same information about Christmas and Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. Like, if you're old as I am, you know what a big deal Goldie Hawn is, right? And for her to still be out there acting in movies is a big deal. And we got tons of people chiming in today that's a part of the show. So Alex, let's go and say hello to people. Mary Ann, how are you doing? And of course, she's on Monday time, but thank you for being here. And there he is. I got to have Rich. Rich, I need you to come by next year. Just stop in the show, hang out with me, because the first 3 or 4 years of the stream show, there was always an episode that had Rich in it. And Rich, I hadn't have you in a while. So please make time in your schedule, Rich, to come hang out with me. I really would appreciate it. And yes, happy 2026, Roger. It is coming so fast. And there he is, Season Grease Ecamm fam. Hey, brother, thank you for stopping by and saying hello. I feel like I'm missing somebody, and he was one of the first ones that stopped in to say hello. Hello to you, sir. How are you doing? Thank you for being a part of it. And there he is, Jeremy. Hi, sir. How are you doing? Today we're talking about content strategy. And Alec, I'll ask you this question really quick. How important is it for you to have a plan for the year?
No, yeah, really important. I mean, I have an annual plan, but then I always do quarterly planning as well. And whether I stick to my content plan is a different story. You can look back at my YouTube channel for the past couple of years, and you'll see that I've been focused on building out the courses and the stuff in my academy for the past couple of years. But one of the plans on one of the goals for 2026 is to finally get back to posting more consistent videos on YouTube. But you got to have a plan, whatever it is you're doing, though. Otherwise, if you don't have those milestones in place, then you can't just leave it to chance.
I completely agree with that. There's several things that I've learned over the years when it comes to content, how to have a good rhythm. I learned something last year that I didn't think I would get. So the first year we did basically every Sunday, but not every Sunday. We may have missed one or two, but we were on it, on it, on it, on it. And then the next year we said, we did a year and a half, and then decided in the middle of the year, hey, let's take a break. And then we came back. So then the next year I said, well, I'm going to build in breaks for it. And I did the built-in breaks, but some of my breaks were too long. Okay. So I lost what is my bread and butter, which is I lost my live viewer. Because it was just gone too long. You know, people were like, when is he coming back? He's not ever coming back. You know, it's just too long. And it didn't communicate well. And last year I did the very long part, and I noticed how long it took the live viewer, you guys, to come back to be a part of the stream show. And I said, okay, I do need my summer breaks, but maybe the summer break doesn't have to be as long. And if I communicate it, so this year, basically July, I'm off in July, and that's the major month that I'm off. I think there's another month that I may have 3 Sundays off, but for the most part, and maybe some here and there dates because of my wife's travel, but for the most part, I'm doing the stream show almost, I guess, let's say about 45 weeks is the plan out of 52. And I could be wrong with my math. So don't hold me to it, but there's a real rhythm to it. And I want to talk about that today and get it going. But before I get all of that going, let's do this really, really quick. I want to start with this because you're here hanging out with the Ecamm fam, going through this content thing with us, but you also have something for people that are getting into Ecamm as an accelerator. Can you talk about your program that you have coming up really quick?
Yeah, sure. It's called the Ecamm Accelerator. It's starting in a week, so Monday the 5th, and it runs for 2 weeks through Monday to Friday. And there's actually 2 sessions every day, one at 9 a.m. and one at 9 p.m. They're both essentially duplicates, but of each other. But I just do that because people can join in at different times. It's always an issue when you've got a global audience trying to find a time that works for everyone. So hopefully there is a slot that works. And the idea behind it is that it is basically an Ecamm fast track to get you up and running with Ecamm, whatever your use case. And Ecamm is such a powerful piece of software as a live production software. And there's really then 2 components. One is actually understanding how to use the software itself. And then the other is how you then go and apply that for whatever your use case is. So that's the way that I've split the course up. Week 1 is the foundations of Ecamm. So it's where you get to understand how to use it, how to create your branded show, much like, DJ Strick's got here with his, consistent look across all of his scenes. We go through studio setups as well on day 1, creating your branded look on day 2. We talk about screen sharing and bringing in other content on day 3, and day 4's about integrating it with presentation software. So I like to do this thing which I call immersive presentations, where it's not just kind of you and a slide deck, but you're kind of immersed in the presentation itself, and all the information that you're bringing on screen is in support of your message. And so we talk about that on day 4, and day 5 is then talking about Stream Deck, because that is the glue that holds all of these different things together, whether it is Ecamm and maybe Keynote for presentations, or Canva, maybe you're using it with Zoom or Teams or whatever, but Stream Deck is the thing that holds it all together and becomes your sort of mission control. So much like here, I've got a selection of Stream Decks on my desk and a touch screen to control Ecamm as well. This is the
oh no, sir, I'm sorry, I'm at to interrupt you, sir. Like, what is this mission control you got going on right here? Oh my goodness,
so
it's a touch screen right here.
Yeah, Dell 2424T, which is a touchscreen, but it means that with things like, if I've got the chat, for example, on my screen here, it means I can scroll up and down when you're bringing comments up and down on the screen. So I can just sort of scroll this to go through the chat, and then if I was controlling the show, I could just tap a button to bring the thing up on the screen in front of me. Or if you've got show notes, things like that. If you have got the the new beta, when it comes out for Ecamm, they also have a different look to the scenes window where you can have individual tiles for the scenes, much the same way as when you look at the camera switcher. You know, with the camera switcher, we have this large let's see, we have this large window here for the different cameras in the camera switcher. Well, in the beta version of Ecamm, which is going to be released at some point, the new version, I've been doing the alpha testing on it. We have the same thing for scenes, but what that means is then that you know, you can potentially have all your scenes here, and I can tap buttons to change scene from that as well. Although I do use personally my Stream Decks that are on either side. There is also a virtual Stream Deck, which is basically you can create a grid of up to sort of 8x8 as a virtual Stream Deck, but you can create multiple versions of these, and so those can sit on here and I can control that. But basically anything I want to control within Ecamm interface, I can control from here. It's especially useful as well with if I'm on a Zoom workshop. You can obviously do things with Ecamm for Zoom, like spotlight yourself, mute yourself, and unmute and things like that. But when it comes to the individual participants, you can't control those directly with the Stream Deck without another piece of software, which using Companion and what's it called, Zoom OSC, to control the individual participants in Zoom. However, having a touchscreen means that, you know, I can just, in the Zoom participants window, tap on somebody's name, you know, spotlight them, pin them to a screen or whatever, and be able to control all of that from here. So
that's awesome.
The point, though, is you don't need to create something like this. You don't need to have, you know, all of these things, but the Stream Deck is the cornerstone of it. It's the main thing that is used to sort of bind all of these different apps together. And so that's what we focus on day 5. So by the end of week 1, you basically have this amazing tool, this live production software that you can then use for, you know, a number of different things. And that's what we move on into in week 2, with the Monday of week 2 being about recording. And I obviously, I make all my videos in one take with no edits. That's the whole reason I got into using Ecamm. And so we talk about the recording process and how to sort of streamline your workflow when it comes to recording videos, be it for courses, sales videos, YouTube videos, or whatever. But we cover recording in that one session. Then Tuesday is about live streaming. Obviously, there are some quirks that are specific to that, or some techniques that are specific to that. So that is Tuesday. Then on Wednesday is all about meetings. Obviously, we have Ecamm for Zoom, so there's a big focus on using Ecamm for Zoom and all of the capabilities that gives us, but also touching on things like Teams, Google Meet, and so on, just basically how to use Ecamm as a live production tool into those platforms. And then on the Thursday is all about live events, because you can use Ecamm to produce your live event, just like earlier on this year, and we'll be doing next year as well. The Digital Stage Summit, that was 3 days, 11 hours a day, bringing in 42 speakers, commentators, and panelists, and it was all controlled via Ecamm, using exactly the same building blocks as you use when you're just creating a simple video, basically. And Friday is about getting over hurdles in terms of just sort of getting the content out. There are lots of things that sort of crop up with people, whether it's confidence issues or tech challenges or whatever. So the Friday is about basically putting it all into action. So that is the Ecamm Live Accelerator. It's $197. And yeah, you can find the link. I can drop the link I've dropped it into the chat for you, Strick, so we can drop that into the chat as well.
Definitely putting
starting
over.
next week.
Yes, that's awesome, man. My goodness, brother, it's a lot, and I'm more intrigued about what you got going on. Listening to you, like, tell me more. Tell me more. Like, I'm really feeling that. The link is in the chat, guys, and Alec has been doing this for a while, and I just think the world of what you provide, Ecamm, as far as the tutorials that people can go through and learn more about how to use this powerful software that they have. It can be really, really simple, but it also has some really robust features that if you just take your time to learn, I'm definitely telling you that it'd be something great to do. Yes. His style, yeah, he's definitely, he's really, really good.
Thanks.
So, David, thank you for chiming in. Good to see you today. And definitely season's greetings to you. Thank you for coming to the show. Wow, Wow, I'm just so intrigued. By any chance, Alec, have you done a video on your setup over there with the new touchscreen?
Yeah, so I've got that one coming out in a couple of days. Actually, as I mentioned earlier, I've been out of the habit of creating standalone videos for YouTube, or sorry, pre-recorded videos for YouTube because I've been creating course content and things like that. But I just released one on the new Elgato Prompter XL, which I dropped yesterday. And then this week I'm also going to do one on the touchscreen and some new lights, and then I'll do a full studio tour over the next few days as well. Because I've basically just been tweaking things in the studio. Yeah.
That's awesome. Any studio updates? I don't know if I've seen, like, since you did the new studio, your new space, any other videos about that space. Do you have anything new?
No other videos yet, no. But it's the other thing that's happened recently is I've built out, well, this year I suppose, is built out my other studio downstairs. So this is my kind of desk studio, the one that I work at, make my tutorials, have my calls. But then I created a more like a virtual stage, effectively, downstairs, which is big screens on either side and a tracking camera. And that one is controlled with now 7 Stream Deck pedals, so everything's Ecamm, but all controlled with my feet. So that I can stand and
you
present
can walk
on the
around
stage.
and just press a button and then walk somewhere else and press another button and it's doing something.
Exactly that.
And the camera is a tracker camera?
Yeah, it's actually an OBSBot tail too. So it's a tracking camera, but I also have it on a 4-foot rail as well, so a slider. So basically, it will sort of move back and forth by up to 2 meters, by up to 4 feet rather. But then the tracking in the camera will stay locked on. So it just gives a nice subtle sort of panning motion as it's as it's going across. So I just wanted to recreate, because I came to this from public speaking on stages, and so I wanted to recreate that stage rather than just kind of sitting here motionless at my desk.
Right, give you a little motion. So when will you start using that studio, or would you be teaching
I did
from there?
an event. Yeah, I did an event in October called the Freedom Formula, and that was a 3-day event, and that was all done from that studio. It was like not on YouTube. It was a sort of event that people sign up to. So that was the first event that I ran from that, and then I've got some other events coming up throughout the year that I'm using it as basically my event space rather than just regular tutorials and so on.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. We learn so much from each other. Like the Ecamm family, the things that we're able to do is just so much things that you can learn. I have a slider. I haven't used it in some of my other things in my podcast, but I was going to do that. I want to know how that tell air, like what kind of space you're using and what kind of image you're getting out of that. That's going to be really, really important. Well, this is a big question for me. And I have a good day, folks, from Australia. Thank you so very much for coming and being a part of the stream show and inside of the Ecamm fam. This show is about content strategy, and the accelerator that Alec is talking about here is a program that he has. I put in the chat a way for you can connect with him and be a part of that accelerator. But I want to be sure that as you are accelerating with Ecamm, that you also have a great plan for 2026. So Alec is here and Kirk is on his way. Like literally, he's behind the scenes getting ready to be a part of this show. And we're going to try to do our very best to help you along the way. Now, I'll get a chance to drive a little bit, but everybody's going to chime in, including you. So the first thing I want you to do, because it is what I would call the first thing that people need to understand about content planning, is to clarify your brand and audience, basically the why. Like you need to know who you are talking to. So that being said, who are you talking to? What kind of content you're making? What is your audience? If you can just throw that in the chat really, really quick, I would love to be able to look at some of the things that you're doing and talk about some of the content you're making. But I think it's important to clarify who you are and what you do. Now, Alec, the reason why I'm saying this is because sometimes we get so caught in the weeds. And yeah, I can say when my show is going to be there, but if I can't clarify what it is that I'm talking about in my show, I may really, really be off. Like I need to know who my audience is. Who am I talking to? You know, what some of the things that I really want to go that I am clear about what the stream show is in the title. So we're talking about live streaming, but my audience is the Ecamm fam, or people that want to be a part of the Ecamm fam. That's clear for me. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and I talk about this with courses as well, but it equates equally to just generally the content that you're making is, as well as the audience's like why that they're doing something, is being very clear on like what that transformation is that you're looking to create for somebody. So where are they before and where are they after, and what's that sort of journey that you're taking them on? And that could be a whole sort of series of videos, but even for an individual video, it's, you know, what is the outcome that you want somebody to get by the end of it. And then have that clearly in mind too.
I think so. I think that is, and she said it makes sense. So if she said it makes sense to me too. So one of the things about having your content, having your why, knowing your audience, and definitely having a niche. I am big on figuring out who your niche is. Now, a lot of people get all twisted with niches. You get really twisted with niches. I want to be able to talk about everything. That's not how YouTube works. Okay, YouTube is not a talk about everything. Your audience need to know what it is. So if I click on your channel, so I just recently found this guy named Rich on YouTube. Rich had a video come up in my feed. I bought a $50,000 BMW for $500. Let's see if I can make it work. So it was a non-working car, and he's a mechanic. And this guy has millions of views because he's buying these junk cars and fixing them up.
Yeah.
That's really the gist of his channel. But he does have outlier videos. He's riding some stuff. He's talking about electric cars, talking about Teslas, talking about BMW. So a lot of these things are high-end cars, right? And every now and again, he'll introduce to you a new character, but the guy that's holding the camera is a character inside. But I'm expecting the same thing. And basically, 90% of his content is around the same thing, him fixing on these cars. So once he gets one going, he has it down with the intrigue. I'm trying this test failed, so let me try something else. And a lot of things he's doing is things that if you were a mechanic, it's not like he's never replaced the engine. Like replacing the engine is thousands of dollars, right? So it's called Rich Builds. I'm sorry, I gave it out. I just think his channel is really, really cool for watching people and learning. I'm still learning too, but learning how he positioned his shows, his thumbnails, and inside of his show is he setting up those cliffhangers and then hitting the point to keep me in. Because if you fix another car, it can be really boring. So he has certain portions where he kind of speeds it up, all the other kind of stuff. But I'm there. So when you have a show or whatever and you're just kind of all over the place, it makes it really, if you have a channel and you're all over the place. So when you have a show or whatever. Thank you, Jeremy. Jeremy just kind of chimed in, and I hear him in the background on Zoom. I'm bringing you in just a minute, Jeremy. And I kind of got into that because, Alec, I just wanted to say I got sucked into watching a brand new channel. I don't know. I've been watching YouTube for a very long time. I just found this guy. He has tons of subscribers. He already has a plaque. But there's a reason why YouTube suggested him to me based on the content that I watch. And when I watched him, it's kind of like they knew this would be a hit for me, and it was.
Right.
I love that, right? That should be something for everybody else. So if YouTube is looking at your channel, Alec, it's going to say there are certain things from the Stream Deck, technology, Ecamm, all these people that are looking for broadcast systems. Let's send them to Alec and see if his tutorials that he's loading fits their fancy for what they're trying to do. And that's the way the algorithm works. It's going to suggest you. You're going to see the suggestions or impressions, and then you can kind of watch through, you know, who's actually watching what you are doing. That being said, really focus on who your audience is and what you're trying to teach them this year. Because it could change a little bit. You can say, hey, I want to dive into this aspect of my content in 2026. And that could be one of the things that makes a big difference for your show. Like for me, my difference this year in my content strategy is to keep the momentum, right? Like that's a content strategy for me to not leave my people for a very long time like I did before. So that being said, man, I got some people that yeah, so don't start Bravo say you need a touchscreen. I really do. I would really love to have it. And that's a whole nother conversation. Let me add some couple people into this as I go to the next scene here. How do I want to do this? I want to put everybody here on my list. Guess what? He's already hanging out with me right there. None other than
what's going on?
R. Nugent. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man. Down in Florida with the family, getting ready to actually pack it up and head back to Alabama. So, man, just enjoying some time in the warm sun, man, because it is definitely warmer down here.
Well, you should. I actually did that before Christmas and enjoyed it immensely being a part, just being able to not have to wear, all these clothes and jackets and stuff because it's supposed to get really, really cold really soon.
Yeah, it's coming up like tomorrow or the next day. But man, yeah, no, excited for what Alex got going on in the new year. I think that program is going to be great. And I was just listening to what you guys have been sharing in terms of strategy, staying consistent, all of that good stuff. This is what it's all about. This is what the stream show is all about.
It really is. It really is. That being said, I'm all over the place here, so I want to add what I'm going to do. I want to add this camera shot in so we can kind of talk through some of my there we go. Add that in so we can see what I'm doing here.
Nice,
Jeremy, man, how are you doing? You just hanging out with us today, brother?
Yeah, just hanging out. Jeremy? Just don't mind me.
No problem, man. Thank you for coming through. So I want to get right back into this for people that are watching. I do have some people that have said some things, so I do want to acknowledge some of those things because we did ask people to tell us what they do. So Roger says, my consulting clients mostly seniors. Man, sometimes it's just clear to know. It's good to know exactly who you have. So he's consulting clients, mostly seniors. Man, perfect. There's definitely a lot of senior citizens out there, brother. So you're definitely going the right way by focusing on them. For me, is the wonder people who love camping, which is our big niche, getting outdoors, campgrounds, reviews, and also running a charity event to raise money for animals. Oh, come on. Love it. He said a big of a mixed bag. I just got through saying this. No matter how much you think it's a mixed bag, figuring out a way where you can kind of make a general sense of what my show is about, because you could stop with camping and getting outdoors and campground reviews and make it a period to what you do. All right? Just stop right there because there's so many things you can talk about with getting outdoors, campgrounds, and then reviewing those campgrounds. Because if I was someone that was looking for campgrounds and you were reviewing each one, before I go, I would watch your video and watch your review before I even try to go that direction. What do you guys think?
Absolutely, yeah. Tips, tricks, best practices for camping, where to go, what to look for, what to bring, and then just experiential things, things that take the whole experience to another level. So there's a whole term called glamping. So if for those that want to do the regular joint, you have that level, but then for those that want to have some of the amenities of life while they're camping, just giving people those tips, I know I would appreciate that. So that's pretty cool as well. But Wander also has this other comment I see you just put on the screen, Strick, where he says, I know I should niche down, but I love it all. And I love that comment because there is this tension for creators to be able to niche down and to be able to do something that is specific. But you don't have to choose, is what I've found. I feel like as a person, we are whole people, right? We're whole beings. There are some things that don't necessarily mesh, but there's a lot of things that you can stack on top of one another. And when you stack them, you actually have both together, and it makes it a smaller niche. So it's not so much that you have to pick one. It's a matter of sometimes figuring out a way to merge them, and the merge of the two actually more represents you, and it also enables you to provide something that's very unique. So I've worked with a lady who is a medical doctor, but she's also big into fashion, huge into fashion. She just couldn't figure out how to merge the two. Well, all I did was like, well, is there a fashion that is specific to people who are in your particular area of medical doctor? And she's like, absolutely. I'm like, there's your niche. And for sure that has worked for her. Now, not everybody can tie it up in a bow like that, but I'm just saying when you stack things together, you do get a smaller niche, and it does sometimes give you a window into what you can do.
I really like that idea, and Kirk is coining this phrase. For me, he's coining this phrase of content stacking. So I get that 100%. But I also believe that there's got to be a good foundation. Okay, there's got to be a good foundation. And content stacking is two niches to make one. All right, it's not we're gonna do campgrounds and we're gonna. I do feel like you can still do the rescue dogs things in there somewhere. There's a
way to do it.
But 90% of your content has to kind of be like, let's do the campground stuff, and then you can allow another 10% to be some of the things that show your personality. They love campgrounds, but you see the dogs there? They have the dogs there because they love sheltered pets.
Okay. I think it comes back as well to the thing that you said at the start, which is like getting clear on who your audience is, because you can also get like, for example, with my channel, I know that I would grow my YouTube channel a lot faster if I was to only focus on Stream Deck, for example, because those are the videos of mine that get the most views. It's cross-platform, so there's more people looking at that. In some respects, me having a heavy focus on Ecamm might well potentially limit some of my audience, because there might be other people on mic who are just like, oh, I'm not interested in that at all. So I could potentially, if I was only chasing YouTube growth, I could be like really hyper niched on something, and then it would be, it could lead to YouTube growth. But the other thing here is that like that isn't the be all and end all. I'm using YouTube as an inbound marketing tool to my business, which is all of these other things as well. And so in some respects, I would rather have a smaller audience where I cover a range of different things, whether it's Ecamm and studio gear and Rodecaster, but also things like business platforms like Kajabi and High Level, because those are the things that are serving my core audience. So I'm always having my core audience in mind, rather than just chasing growth and numbers on YouTube itself, because I've got more meaningful connection through the content that I'm creating, which is kind of the same as
it is
to Kirk's point as well.
Because it's more important for you to have the on-demand video ability than all the other stuff in the audience.
Absolutely.
Did I say that right?
And then the other thing too, you're spot on, DJ. But the other thing too is, I think at the end of the day, while we all want to be known for a thing, but that's kind of the end. That's how people are introduced to your ecosystem and to your world. You will get to a point where, because let's be clear, if Beyonce decides tomorrow she's going to start selling refrigerators, there's a whole set of people who just subscribe to Beyonce, right? So it doesn't really matter what she does anymore. They have subscribed to her. Does it make sense? So, and I think all creators, to an extent, yes, we have a niche and we want to be able to provide a particular thing. That's where your value proposition comes in, and being clear on who the target is. But a target, even if you look at it, the bullseye is in the middle, but there's a whole lot of space. So sometimes you may not hit the target, and that's okay. After a while, I want people to see, hey, Kirk's live. Let me go see what he's talking about, because they've gotten used to gaining insight, perspective, wisdom, value from my experiences. And again, I think the same for Alec. I think the same for Strick. I think the same for many creators. It's, you want them to know that from this space, you will be able to gain something that's going to help you in life. And even the stream show, I think that's, we're about content creation, streaming, but also some of the stuff that's shared here is going to benefit you in multiple other areas of your life as well.
Yeah, because we like to preach a little more than we should sometimes. Hey, so let's just continue this with the wonder. Let me pull this out. I just reframed this while we were all talking, and I like this setup a whole lot better for what we're doing.
Like it
so
too.
yeah, the rest of the stuff is organized group campouts with people who follow the channel. I raised $35,000 last year for the shelter. Was blown away by
That's
that.
amazing.
And we use Ecamm monthly live streams, trivia nights, also my annual Christmas spectacular. Raised another $3,000 last week for the recent Christmas live stream. Loving Ecamm for it all. Looks Pro, man, that is awesome. So I found Ecamm and all of you guys through Kirk. So one time for man,
Let's
Kirk,
go.
if Kirk is live, that means the content value is high. Kirk, you can start cash apping those people right now.
I'm gonna cash app both of them right now. Let me go and grab my phone. Let me cash app. I need to send them a cash app right now.
Man,
it's kind of
awesome.
a sad state of affairs, and we're all thinking the same thing. It's like, how did Kirk just get his money?
Yeah, go ahead and pay him. I think that's awesome. And of course, I feel the same way about what Kirk does too. Love what he provides for all of us. Definitely appreciate somebody that's raising money, like finding a ways to raise money for
that's so awesome.
a charity is a huge, huge deal. So
That's
big shouts
amazing.
out to you all the way in Australia, man. That is really, really cool. Keep making an impact. And I have on the screen here, create your content foundations. I want to get back to this really quick. If somebody was trying to get a content strategy and they watch this live stream, they're going to be really mad at me because weaved all our way through this. The live audience will love it, but somebody needed this strategy. I may have to do a standalone video just on the content strategy. That being said, I love what we do here. And you want to think about for your foundations, how you would get your content out to your people. Like, how are you creating content? Is it live streaming? Is it recorded videos that you're posting? Are you doing tutorials? Are you teaching tools? All those things you need to be thinking about as you have a content strategy. I will say this. I have learned, I think about it this way. When you have live streaming, recorded videos, like long form videos that are recorded, and then you also have shorts. I'm thinking YouTube. It has come to me. I don't know why I wasn't thinking this way, but each of these things, it comes from TikTok. Each of these things have its own shelf and its own rhythm and algorithm that the system pushes it out. Okay, hear what I'm saying. The push with stories with YouTube has a different push. Like when you make a story, has a different push than your live stream. Your live stream has a different push than your recorded videos. Even though it's all on one channel, if you sometimes there are people that are recording live and then editing and putting those videos up, kind of edited, you're gonna see two different audiences with the same video content. Have you guys experienced that at all?
I was waiting for somebody else to chime in, but no, I've definitely seen that.
Yeah, but nevertheless, I want people to be sure. So right now, what's going on with TikTok? They're pushing their stories. So it's a new feature for them. Mm-hmm. They're pushing stories, but the push on stories is definitely different than just an uploaded video, no matter what the time frame is. So they're asking people to post their stories, and if you're posting, just like we say, anytime there's a new feature with any of these platforms, of course the algorithm pushes that because that's where they want people to go. Well, you have that inside of YouTube as well. Shorts are getting a lot of views. If you have a way to get the hook in and could do it concisely under 3 minutes, man, those shorts that are on YouTube right now are really, really picking up. The same content could be long form that's sitting there as a recorded video that you uploaded. And you can also have similar content that you live stream. And all you got to do is go to your dashboard and then click content, and then look at your content at the top. It says videos, live. It has shorts.
Oh, yeah.
All of that is at the top. It has playlists. All of these things have their own type of shelf collaboration, their own shelf that they're on, and they could actually be getting different numbers and be recommended to different people all at the same time. So you want to think about.
You can also. Yeah, sorry, I was going to
Yes,
say,
sir,
you can
go
also
ahead.
just look at the analytics as well, because I notice a distinct shift in age group. Guess what? The younger people prefer the shorts than the long form. There was also a really interesting thing I noticed. When I look at the like age group for my long form videos, it's kind of like a bell curve, and the peak is around the sort of 35 to 45 to 50. That sort of age group is like the most number of views. But if I actually sort it and look at the age group by the duration of the video watched, it's like a direct line, like going upwards. So, you know, that 65 plus is watching all of the video, whereas the lower down you go, they're not watching all the way through. I thought that was an interesting little thing. But the other thing to note about shorts is when people do, if they're on the shorts feed and they're watching your shorts and they do engage with them or, you know, watch them, then they're also going to be getting served your long form videos as well. Like when they're looking at, you know, long form videos in YouTube as well. So it's definitely worth thinking of shorts as a, you know, a path into more people watching your long form videos as well.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that as well. I think the data is something to really be mindful of, and I love what you shared there, Alec. And I think we each have to be informed by the data. We need to look at how our audience is behaving and how they are engaging with our content. Because one of the other things I found that's very interesting is that there hasn't been a lot of transfer, even though people who watch the shorts are being served up or suggested my long form. There hasn't been a lot of transfer from the success I see on my shorts videos translating over to my long form videos. And I think the reason for that is my podcast is, you know, at a minimum 30 minutes, most of the time about 55. And it's a large investment. So if somebody watched it, you know, 90-second short, and the next video that they're served up is
60 minutes.
45-minute. Yeah.
Right.
What's the likelihood? You know, so I do think that there is some behavior, you know, that we need to follow where that's concerned, because, you know, there is a school of thought that says you are training your audience on how to consume you, right? So if you have shorts, you're training your audience on consuming you in short bites. Whereas if you have your long form, like a Diary of a CEO, he's got a lot of clips and shorts that he puts, but they're on a whole other channel that's called clips. So there is a strategy there that I think some are trying to employ to ensure that there is some kind of separation. If you are watching me short, that's fine. Here's some bite-sized chunks that you can, you know, watch and then consume and move on with your day. But for those that do want the long form, it's over here. And for those that watch long form, I don't want you to be served my shorts. I want you to be served the long form because you're used to watching me in that longer format. So some little things to be mindful of there that I think we all have to figure out what that means for each of our channels and for the niche that we're in and what's the normative behavior of our audiences. So your data will share that with you. And that's why that part is the most critical.
I love it. I love it. You're right on it. And one to say I signed up for Alex One Take Tech Ecamm course. Started it a while back, and it is great, well done. So nothing like an endorsement. I'll keep that up for a second so you can go back and clip that later, Alex.
Make sure you send the cash app. Send the cash app.
The older demographics does watch videos, the entire video. Live streams are 2 to 4 hours long. I'm talking about an investment, and I'm sure it is good. Do you interview struggle with making shorts? I can't get into making them. Maybe the age thing is not an age thing. I think it's just a learning curve. If you're making 2 to 4 hours worth of content, there's a lot of shorts in there that you can actually repurpose. There's a lot of information, data. It's a lot of places inside of 2 to 4 hours that you can actually repurpose. And there's several different softwares you can use. I use Opus Clips. It can help you to do it faster. Basically, you take the long form content and 2 hours 2 to 4 hours worth of long form content, you may be able to get 30 different shorts out of that. So it really depends on what you want your channel to be about, but there's definitely opportunity there. And I want to say hello to Miss Kay Walker. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us tonight. All right. Let's go to the next one. So we talked about this. I want you to decide the core types of shows that you want to do. So when we get to that, it is the format. So here, the stream show is a live show on Sunday nights on Ecamm Live's YouTube channel. All right. So I could break it down to workshops. I can break it down to how I want to do my holidays, the quarterlies, and I'm thinking about all of my year that I'm content planning for. I need to be thinking about the basics is every Sunday, Ecamm Live YouTube channel. We're really talking to the Ecamm fam and people that want to be a part of the Ecamm family. And then we're doing workshops. We have guests coming through. We have partner episodes. All of these things from the above, I need to be thinking about that as I schedule out my month. Now, I haven't gotten there yet, but I also want to be thinking about mapping the year. So as I map the year, my wife's calendar is already gotten full, right? So when I'm talking to Ecamm and I'm saying, hey, these are some of the dates, I have to take out those Sundays that I know she's going to be somewhere else in the world and I have to be with her. I think the way we have it scheduled right now, there's only like 3 or 4 Sundays that I'm out with her because of her shows. And I know it's going to happen, as the year goes on and we book more shows and sometimes they're on Sundays. And we do have other people that work with us that sometimes goes with her instead of me. I just like being there because nobody can carry the flute back like I can, right?
There you go.
Anybody, when it comes to mapping,
I want to touch on this
and looking at dates. Anybody, Kurt, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you said it earlier before I came on. One of the major things about being successful with content is being consistent. And so mapping out your content buckets or content shelves, mapping out your month, your year, designing your show flow, what are the different types, really can help. And it really serves to help you be consistent. One of the things that I share in coaching is, I think it's 5 F's. It might be 4, but it's faith, family, finance, food, and fitness. Yeah, it is 5. Faith, family, finance, food, and fitness. Doesn't matter what your content area is. You can have something to do with those with your content as well. And what it does, it just helps to really break things up. So whatever your content is, you could be in finance, you could be in medical, you could be in caregiving, you could be in music. How do you relate that, correlate to your faith? That could be one post or one video, or it could be a short, it could be a reel, it could be a story. Then you have finance, you have food, you have fitness, you have fashion. There's just so many different ways that you can plug in. And what those 5 F's do is these are on-ramps for people to come into your ecosystem. Maybe somebody's not necessarily into Ecamm, but they are into, let's say, fitness. Okay, so then you're showing them, man, I'm doing this, and this is how my fitness piece is. The fitness hooks them, and then it allows them to understand what your ecosystem is all about. Your channel is not about fitness. Your content is not about fitness, but people love these 5 things: faith, family, food, fitness, fashion. People love those 5 things. And so these are on-ramps into your ecosystem. And again, breaking it up like that makes it so simple, because it's like, if I do one of those in succession, I've got 5 weeks, 5 weeks, 5 weeks, 5 weeks that you have it all broken out. So just trying to help you to make yourself a little more consistent, because the consistency is going to win the long game that you're playing with content.
I think that's a very good way of thinking about it. I didn't add this earlier, but the way I'm doing it and the way I would want you to think about it is 90-day chef. So having a first, second, third, and fourth quarter worth of planning. And think about this. The first quarter could easily be, for me, like I could be teaching reset. I could be teaching planning. I can be teaching new tools. So I'm starting the new year. Here's some new tools. And I could basically build out 90 days or the first quarter with those 3 topics. Same thing that you were saying. Second quarter could be something completely different. I could be talking about systems and collaborations for 3 months there. So those 90 days. And basically I'm taking all of these quarters, the fourth quarter, making themes around that, not having to tie it all up, not doing all of the details, but having an idea, because this is a content strategy we want to do for the year. We really want to get you started to be thinking about those things you may talk about, but really focused on the first 90 days. All right. So as far as detailing each and every show out, show description, show title, any guests, making sure you lock them in if you're going to have people come into your show, because you give them time enough to plan it on their calendar. All of those things, I think, is something that you really, really want to be thinking about. Anybody else? Good. So,
yeah, I do the same thing with planning the year, like having the goal for that. I actually don't tend at the beginning of the year to plan out the full year. I have my broader goals for the year, but then I focus on like the quarterly plan is the way that I move, because what I find is I do tend to pivot depending on new opportunities that arise and things like that. So I have like that. I mean, I've got my 5 and 10 year goals, then a year goal, and then the quarterly plan, and then that comes down to my weekly planning basically. But yeah, just reiterating what everyone else has said, you've got to have some form of plan, whatever
you gotta have a plan.
Takes, whatever form that takes. Yeah.
And you just never know the changes in everything. Life could change. Politics could change. Someone based on your content, opportunities can change based on your content, and somebody could drop, like for us, if somebody dropped, Rode dropped a new board or something, a mic or something that's relevant to what we do, and we want to talk about it. We're using it and talking about it. Guess what? We didn't know. Like, most of us is not knowing a new product that's coming out. It came out, and now we want to talk about it. So if you do more than those 90 days of the first quarter, you put yourself at a place to where, yes, you have content ideas, but most likely that idea would change. Okay, based on something that happens. All that needs to happen is YouTube have a new feature, and boom, you're pivoted, because that new feature is now taking over how you create content, and you're moving around teaching and doing it in a different way. So that's why I'm saying having an idea for the first quarter, so you got 3 months to really get everything kind of tied up, and you're thinking about where you're going to go next, but allow yourself, this is how I want to say it, allow yourself to be able to catch the next wave. Not to get left behind. You got to do the work in time. So I'm really thinking at the top of March, you are working on quarter 2 at the top of March, having all that stuff lined out all over again. So you really be doing this. So you got the January first quarter, you'll be doing this 4 times. But in those 4 times, you stop, breathe, and say, okay, what do I want to talk to my audience about for the next 30 days, the next 90 days. Let's say that right. What I want to talk about for the next 90 days, and plan it out. You got a time. You have some type of foundation. You have an idea generally of what you want to deliver. You just, now I want to deliver different aspects of that to my audience in time. That being said, yes, I did the modifications to the live stream. It was really like while you were watching, I was moving things around, and then I decided like this panel listing this way really looks cool, so I could put the comments at the bottom. So that did happen while you were watching, right? Mapping the year is tricky, but it is time well spent. I have mapped out my podcast for the year and have 4 seasons planned out. Well, aren't you something, nice. Marianne? There you go. And all of those
I don't think Marianne sleeps. I really don't think she does. Yeah.
She probably does.
I don't know what's going on with the water down in Australia, but yeah, I don't think she sleeps.
Well, we got a couple of Australians hanging out with us there. I've trained my ChatGPT to help me out with my content planning. Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
It's exactly. Very clever, right?
No, Strick, one of the things I wanted to point out was that you when you're designing your channel content, you have to think about, okay, what percentage, if this is relevant to your channel, is reactionary versus what is just part of your normal agenda, right?
Perfect.
So, like you were saying, Rode could come out with a new, Rodecaster Pro, all right? And then, Alec in what Alec normally does, or even Elgato with a new Stream Deck, or if they come out with a double XL version of the prompter, which God help us, they don't do, but let's just say that they decide to come up with that.
Right.
Alec, I watched your video on the Prompter XL, and I thought, well, first of all, wow, there's Alec, and then secondly, it was like, okay, here's his assessment on the Prompter XL, but that was something, the XL's been out for a couple of months now, but regardless, you have to kind of build that into your schedule. Are you going to be something where you're always reacting to what's coming out, or are you just going to kind of weave it into your normal channel programming content, right? And it's just going to come out when it comes out. That's entirely on you to decide how you're going to position that.
That's really good, Jeremy, that you mentioned that. And I have two things that I would say, and then I'll let you other guys kind of chime into this. Sometimes new products based on your content or your niche just excites us, So let's go with the campground. There's a new campground that the Wanderer has just found, and they're opening up like that nice, new, shiny thing that you get a chance to introduce. It could be inside of the normal show, but people hear when I'm excited about something, right? They hear it in my voice, they hear it in my tone. So sometimes we can use some of these new things that are happening inside of a normal show, but it excites us, so it will excite our audience as well and does keep people in. It is also a part of a content strategy to have an area or a time where you talk about new features, new tools, new equipment. I absolutely know I could do 52 weeks of camera reviews on Ecamm Live or with the Ecamm family, because we love that kind of topic. We don't want to do that because there's so many other things you could do other than talk about cameras, but it would be engaging to people every week if we did. That being said, I think what you bring up is great, and people have to make a decision on their content, like how I would weave it in. I think timeliness is important. If a new feature or a new product comes out and you do a review on it 6 months out after everybody has done a review, I don't know if you get as much traction if you would have did it the first week. What do you guys think?
It doesn't, at some point, it doesn't really matter. Like Alec has cemented himself as somebody who knows really good gear for live streaming. So, people will wait. They'll just wait. It's like, I've had some time to review this, and he demonstrated very perfectly the glare issue that comes up when you have that size screen with a white browser window. And that was something that I think people needed to see, because that was actually raised on the Ecamm forums.
Wow.
During when the Prompter XL first came out, and he showed it in action, and that was like, okay, this is what it looks like, and it's pretty crappy. So how do you deal with that? And Alec was able to say, okay, look, if you turn down your brightness, this is what happens. And even then, you could still kind of see some things. So Alec, I applaud you for doing that, because it really shows that it's like you can kind of mitigate the problem a little bit, but it's still there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think those kind of fair and honest reviews are what's needed and what Alec is known for. So I don't think Alec's timing on it really, frankly, at this point, I don't think it really mattered. I mean, Alec he's always been on top of stuff, like always releasing content like the day of. He's been exceptional at that. And so, I don't know if he needs to do that anymore, because he's already a go-to source. So it's look, I didn't Venmo Alec any money. I'm just saying this because I think he's cemented himself as somebody that you can go to and trust for reviews, and so it doesn't really matter when he releases his his blessing or not. He's
So
it doesn't really
can I
matter.
jump in there?
Yeah.
What I think, first of all, I couldn't agree with you more. Alec is absolutely a trusted advisor. And this is kind of what I was talking about for earlier, Strick, when I said, yeah, we want people to know us for a particular thing, but we also want them to just to trust us. Like that's the
Right.
main thrust. One of the main goals of content is, of course, to build that know, like, and trust factor. There's a certain amount of touches, there's a certain amount of interactions that are required for somebody to say, I want to do business with this person. I want to have them coach me. I want to have them come and speak. I want to engage with them at a deeper level. I want them to be able to serve me more than what I'm just getting on socials or
Right.
on YouTube. So that is what absolutely what Alec has done. But I do think that there is a component of timing that does not necessarily play in for his regular audience, for those who know, like, and trust him. We don't care. And I'm saying we because I'm part of that audience with you. But if Alec does want to continue to grow organically, right? If he wants to continue to grow the base of people who do not know him, that's where some of the timing thing becomes, because it's really just a matter of riding the wave. So, okay, this thing came out and I want to be part of the conversation while people who don't even know me are talking about this. So that's where the timing becomes something that may play into his strategy, or our strategy for that matter. Any of us who find ourselves in that kind of scenario. We're just using Alec as an example right now, and it's so crazy that we're talking about him. He's here, but that's the idea. Is trying to ride those waves of organic content.
Awkward.
Where it's just bring the people
That
back
part.
to us.
This is a gas intervention, Alec. Just so you know.
There is definitely.
No, that's all I wanted to share. Yeah, go ahead.
I would absolutely have much preferred to have made my review of the prompter like the week that it came out, the prompter XL.
Right.
I just literally couldn't get my hands on one. In the end, they weren't available here in Thailand. I couldn't order them from the US. In the end, I ordered it when they came into stock briefly in Amazon Japan. And so that one came to me from Amazon Japan. And it only arrived like 3 days ago or whatever. So that's the honest reason why my review was late. But what if I look back at my analytics, like when I look at my, the total number of viewers and subscribers on my channel, there have been points in the past where there have been these big spikes and then it drops down and it never quite goes back down to where it was. So there's like sort of kind of steps up. And those have always been tied to some sort of major release, whether it was the new Rodecaster Pro 2 or the Rodecaster Video or things like that. And there is definitely something to being able to just jump on that right immediately. And one of the things, I haven't really made lots of recorded videos recently. I've been too busy creating the courses and the content and things like that for behind the scenes, but certainly for the first year or so on YouTube, where I was making daily videos, and whenever there was a new release of the software for Stream Deck, for example, I would be one of the first to get the video out, and those always drove that growth, because when something's new, people want to get, and I do the same. If there's somebody releases a new product, I'm not just going to watch one video. I'm doing like all the research on it, so I go and watch 3 or 4 videos on it. And so if you can be in amongst that pool of videos, then yeah, it's going to drive that organic growth. But so yeah, I agree with both of you, apart from all the positive things you've said about me. That's all good.
I'll give you another example, guys. And before I do that, I got to shout out my man, Chris Stone, for hanging out with us. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us. But you guys are embarrassing me while we have company, while Chris Stone is here, because I'm looking at the likes. I mean, we have tons of people watching, but only 5 likes. If this is something that is helping you, you love the community of this, you're learning something about content strategy, and you're learning that now, if you can please hit the like button so I can feel a little bit better, and I won't be embarrassed by Chris Stone being here and saying, Strick, man, people don't even like what you're doing. Please stop it. So, Chris, how you doing, sir? Glad you could make it to be a part of it. And the likes are already at 7. I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm still a little queasy, guys, so help me out here. That being said, I was watching videos. I'm going to stay on topic here. I was watching videos about the YOLO S3. And I was watching those videos back to back and back. There was probably about 10 plus creators that were talking about this video. If Alec would have done a video. I don't know if he did or not on that particular one. I hadn't seen it. But if you have someone that you trust and they do a review on it, because man, people is like, this webcam is the best webcam ever. We're posing this next to the FX3. I'm like, that is cap.
No.
There's no way a $200 webcam is gonna be positioned against a FX3, whether that's what you call it, whether it's for live streaming or not. And finding someone that you can listen to that you feel that will be honest and true, because literally by the time I see the second post or watch the second video, my money is in my hand. Like, I'm ready to press this button. This is the best webcam ever, right? I'm ready to buy. So the timeliness of that, I would have, if someone had a video comes out, 2 months later, I would have bought or moved on from that particular product if it was out late, because the momentum is already there. And then I would have made a buying decision, 2 months ago. That's all I'm saying about that. And we're talking about equipment and all that other kind of stuff, but just so that you have an idea. Now, I do agree. I do go back after I made that decision, and there's certain people that I watch, like, I'll just go ahead and say it. I watched Tom Buck give a review on a product. Like, absolutely. I watch it. I trust his reviews, right? So let me just check out Tom. What is he saying about this particular product, and how does it stand up, and what testing has he done? All of that. And if you listen to a content creator well, man, they'll tell you everything you need to know, because they have to be very, very, how you want to say it? Like, I could tell you something, but also not be derogatory towards that product at the same time. So if I got the best webcam ever and I tell you, hey man, this webcam would be great for a top-down view, I told you everything you needed to know.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Because we're not looking for webcams for top-down views. It could work there, but it's not your main shot. And this is not any particular product. I'm just talking about the scenario. All right? Talking about the scenario.
Right. So well said.
Here we go. Chris said, first mover advantage is key, but win also is great. That's the space. Alec Johnson. Come on, man. You are so right. So people just love what he does, and
checks in the post.
Yeah, I was about to say, Chris. So Alec's Venmo is. Let me just get this pulled up real quick here.
More importantly, Alec is also doing the accelerator, and this is a great time to put it inside of the chat where he's talking about Ecamm, and you can actually take the link there and go to his page, look into the Ecamm accelerator where he's teaching in just a couple of weeks. A week away, Alec?
Next week, next
week. Where he's teaching people more about Ecamm and how they could use it, and there's two weeks worth of content there.
2 weeks, So Monday the 5th through to the 16th, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern time. Come to either of those or come to both, and then there'll be some bonus sessions the week after that as well. But the main content is 2 weeks.
I love it. He's going to over-deliver, guys. He just is. It's just going to be something great that you're going to really learn from. And if you can get these small tips that can help you in your Ecamm content journey or using this software to be a broadcaster, I promise you, you can use one scene and do everything you need to do. But if you really want to get out there and figure out all the bells and whistles and kind of play with it, he can walk you through those things so that you can look great while you are online. So check that out. And yes, bravo. Tom Buck is the man. So what was I talking about? We're mapping out the year. I want to go to the next thing. I'm going to try to run through a couple of these because we're a little bit over an hour. So when we talk about holiday stuff, I need you to be mindful. We're still in the holiday season, right? I need you to be thinking about what holidays are relevant to your content and how you can make those holidays work for you. So if I'm someone that is out like the Wanderer and we're talking about outdoor campgrounds and all the other kind of stuff, that's really big. Holidays are really big because that's when people go outside a lot. Okay, I don't know in Australia what the weather is like for you, but it could be warm in different seasons. But when those holidays are coming up, partnering with some of those campgrounds and talking about, hey, this is the program that they have going on, I think that could go a long way. What do you guys think?
I ain't going outside right now.
You're not going outside. It's cold for you, right?
It's 33 degrees. It's basically freezing outside. I ain't going outside right now. But I know what you were getting at there, Strick. But yeah, finding appropriate people to partner with and have discussions with, given the time of the season, that's all very relevant and appropriate. So it really just comes down to what kind of content can you generate given your situation. Where are you? Where do you reside? I think Alec is probably the closest to the equator out of all of us at this point. And, he might be like, well, it's what is the temperature there right now? You don't have to do.
It's actually, this is the cold season, so it's about, I don't know in Fahrenheit, but it's like 15 at night and then 30 degrees in the day. So it's
wait, that's the cold season?
30 degrees in the day.
30 degrees centigrade. That's
that's hot. That's what 80.
That's hot.
That's hot.
I lived in South Africa, and wow, that's 30 degrees is crazy. That's cold. Wow.
This is the cold season.
It's the cold season because it goes down to 15 at night, which is about 60 Fahrenheit.
Got you.
Oh my God.
But when it's not the cold season, then it doesn't go below 20 even at night. It's like 22, 23 in the night.
Wow.
Wow.
I think, boys, 2026 might be moving to Thailand.
Hey, listen, dude.
Set up in person. I've been saying Creator Camp Thailand since the first one. I've got my mug here from Boston, but we need one in Thailand.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Set us up, man. Hey, we can just all pile into the other studio and just do a live stream.
You're all welcome. This is an open invitation to
say less.
If you're ever in Thailand,
listen,
we're gonna come knocking.
I actually just said something that people are doing. Like this Kai Cenat guy on Twitch, like basically he had like a sleepover, which is live stream the sleepover. But one of the people he was live streaming with while he was doing it was Kevin Hart. Like, my God, this is just unbelievable. What? Yeah, so Kai Cenat, he's really, really big Twitch streamer, but he was doing his sleepover. So basically, he's on all night, but he has, because he has such a large audience, Kevin Hart came and was a part of his live stream, and he was teaching them all the stuff that he's doing, but they were there all night basically doing it. And I just think that that's the coolest thing. Now, we're all at the age right now that by the time it hit 8 p.m., all of us will be ready to get to bed,
That's it. I'm in bed by 8 or 9.
Yeah. So it really, really worked for us. So that's the campaigns and holidays that I just talked about. Build a working calendar system. I think I'm going to wrap it up with this one. Whatever content strategy you build, putting it on some type of calendar system is going to be important for you to keep up with. Now, it could be as simple. All of us have Google or Gmail or something. So using Google's calendar to keep up with all these things, you can color code it and with themes and ideas. You can make it work with that. But there are other systems from Calendly to TidyCal. People, I still kind of play with TidyCal a little bit. That's the AppSumo calendar thing. But there are tons of other things that you could build along with it being inside of your CRM that you may have or some type of app with your website if you have other widgets that's connected to your website. So all of those things are possible. The bottom line to what I'm saying is having it structured in such a way that once you put in the work on the front end to build it, whatever application it is, Notion, people are doing all these kind of things now, that it's there for you to be able to repeat in an easy way. What do you guys think?
Yeah, actually my content has been a bit haphazard with, as I say, just building the stuff that's part of my academy and that. But the one thing that has been more consistent is a weekly live stream. So actually having something that is a live stream as part of your content. I think that there's definitely a different weight that people give. Like, well, as viewers, you talked about this earlier with, you're going to get different viewers for live streams and for recorded content and for shorts. One of the things that I did was changed, this was a few years ago now, I changed how I ran my live streams. So I focused on like content first and made the first 30 minutes more like a pre-recorded video, so that when people were seeing the thumbnail, seeing the title, they went straight into it. Because otherwise, if people are coming in, 2 months or 3 months or even a few days down the line, they feel like they've missed out on the live part of it. Whereas if you sort of front load the content, then that's going to have those longer life basically for the video. And whereas before my live streams used to get however many views they got live and then some more after, they didn't really have that sort of long tail of the pre-recorded videos. Whereas now that I switched up that sort of format, now my live streams are my most viewed videos. Awesome. Long after they've finished. But in doing that though, I've also then got the accountability that, well, I'm supposed to be going live every week at a certain time, and so that's a good way to give yourself that accountability, is to add in a live stream to your content, because then you build that extra connection with people and also have it. You've got to do it then. Because
I've really tried that format. Like Alex, I started today. Like, I've said that I wanted to do that format today, and I saw the people and I got distracted. So it is a really, really good idea to do that, and I do think that it does help. It's one of those things why I stopped doing a countdown to my live streams.
Oh, that's the big one. The countdown is a killer, honestly, for replay, because when people see a thumbnail and they click on the video because they've seen the thumbnail and the title, if they're coming into a countdown, there's so many people are just switching off. Yes, they can scrub forward. Your long-time viewers will scrub through it, but people who are new, often that is like a big turn off. So, drop the countdowns for sure.
Right.
At least fortunately now you can edit those out, right? So, but YouTube's video processing is slow. So
and it's another step to take.
It's another step.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So yeah, I mean, you could do that. You could you could technically still keep them in there for the live and then pull it out later. But yeah, it's like Alex said, it's one extra.
But don't you also lose some of those comments?
I don't know. I thought that the comments
chopped it up, it lost the comments, but maybe that's changed.
I remember Paul saying something along the lines that maybe I'm misquoting, but I thought that they didn't.
The thing that actually caused me to originally like revisit it was I did used to have a 3-minute countdown, because when I started, that's what I saw everyone else do, 3 to 5 minutes or whatever. And so I thought, I just did what everyone else did. And then it was somebody whose opinion I really trust had just commented, not to me, but just generally on Twitter or wherever it was, just said, why do live streamers punish people who are punctual? And I thought, like, if you get a notification to say that like somebody's going live at that time, then like don't make them sit through a 3 or 4 minute countdown for what? Especially if you're not making it engaging. I always used to like the other approach. I know you go straight into it now, Strick, but I also like the other way that you did it before, where you would have the countdown, but you would still be talking and have like the guest talking as well. And it didn't feel like a countdown, but you just had that buffer basically where we're still here, we're still engaging before we get into the main content. That also worked really well. But I used to just sit there looking like an idiot basically for 3 minutes, like, okay, here I am, and just kind of waiting for it to start, just like everyone else. I was not entertaining in that countdown.
Well, I just think that if we go back, when we started with the countdowns, it was needed because of the systems.
Right.
They all needed to connect to each other. And it was a buffering time to connect. And you needed the time. Now, the 5-minute count. I mean, people were doing 10-minute countdowns, 5-minute countdowns. And, we eventually got them shorter and shorter and shorter. But I don't know when I figured it out. You hit go live, and Ecamm has a countdown, and basically it goes 1, 2, 3. but I found out by the time you see 2, you're live. So I actually hit the button and just start talking. And I do that or did change that for the replay value. I start the countdown. Even with me doing a countdown to the side, I do think that the time, Alec, where I was doing the countdown and then we'll transition to the show, it did have some entertainment value because the countdown would stop. And whether I was in mid-sentence or not, it would automatically transition to a 30 or like a 10-second, follow the stream team or whatever, and then I'll come back and then we can kind of continue the conversation. That was kind of cool. But now I'm just so cool and have done this so long. There's no butterflies to get over. We just 1, 2, 3. Let's just start talking. And I think even with that, I could probably do a little bit better job with starting with my even live stream hooks for the live stream. So that's where I really want to go. Actually a hook to get people in, because these are the people that's going to watch it. The only people I'm talking to are the replay people. Think about it. The live stream people hadn't got there yet when I hit go live.
Yeah.
So it's only the replay people that I am talking to for at least the first 2 to 5 minutes. Well, the first 5 minutes at least, I'm mostly talking to replay people. And when you think about it that way, it's kind of like when people started with Facebook Live or whatever, and their comment would be, well, I'm going to wait till some people come on. And you are there. Like, what are you waiting on? Like, you can still talk to me. I'm here. Like, you can still be talking. So my idea is just to be talking, assuming that there was an audience there. But, of course, I did radio for a long time. And radio is always an assumption that people are listening.
Yeah. You don't know.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to throw in there real quick, I know we've kind of, talked it through, but I wanted to differentiate a little bit in terms of, I think, Alec, you were saying, because I get that. I have gotten that comment as well. Why do you punish the people who show up on time? But for me, I mean, literally, but for me, even at my church, I still do a countdown, but I don't do so we go live at 10, but I don't do the countdown at 10. I do the 10-minute countdown at 9:50. So even if you came early, you're watching countdown. But if you come at 10, you're going to come right into the live show, because that's the time that we go live. But I think going live ahead of time, and this is a feature that we all know that it's there. And I'm not saying this for content creators. I'm saying this for major organizations and brands who have
I do this for my workshops and stuff like that.
Yeah. Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I still do the countdown for that. I think it just makes sense. But I do the countdown before the advertised time. If I'm going live at 7 p.m., I'm going to go live at 6:50 with a countdown. But for my live show on my channel, I've completely gotten rid of the countdown. I go live, and for the first 15 to 20 minutes, I have content that I want to deliver to camera as if it's a produced video. And then I will get into comments. Every now and again, I may look and say, what's going on? Feel So Alive. What's going on, Wanderer? What's going on, Marianne Kress? I might say something like that, but I continue to deliver the value that I had already planned to deliver. And to be honest with you, man, it has become a trend for my audience, my live audience, to, when they show up, scrub back to the beginning, because they know I'm going to go live and immediately deliver. So they'll scrub back to the beginning. And once I get through my 10 to 15 minutes of content, they'll hit the live button again to bring them back to current so they can join the conversation. So there is, your live folks will figure out what the normative behavior is for them to be able to engage. But prioritizing replay value is absolutely the name of the game where live is concerned. And so I think, Alec, you have really hit the nail on the head where that's concerned. And that's where I've really looked to be. And Strick, I know we've talked about this a million ways, but that's, to me, prioritizing what people are going to see on replay. That is where I definitely want to focus my attention for live streams.
I think that's great. All the way around, guys. An opportunity to help people. I don't know. I think I started this about 2 years ago. If not longer, dropping that countdown. So I've been on a campaign for people to understand. Let's just go get it, man. Let's get started. I don't care if it's random or not. In my podcast that I actually do that is recorded, guess what? I actually start really, really slow with random conversation, and that's recorded, and that's the first thing people see versus an intro. So my intro is only like 8 seconds. and I kind of get into it. So I'm starting a conversation, and say I have a guest. So my guests are, professionals in Birmingham, politicians, business owners, content creators, and artists. All of the people that I'm interviewing, I have some type of personal relationship with or know. So I can say, hey, how was it when you went to Auburn? This is not going to be a part of our conversation, but we went to the common theme was we went to school at the same time. So I could talk about that, and my demeanor is low, my voice is low, and that's going to be the first thing they see. And this is, oh man, that is. So when they respond to whatever I say, if I don't have a follow-up, so man, that is great. And then I'll look at my camera that is going to be my main first shot, and I say, man, I got a show for you. And then my intro comes in, it's like 8 seconds, and I say, hey man, thank you so very much. I'm into it. But the first thing is something that I think everybody can kind of get into, that is not, not big, not grand. It's just showing you, I guess, the relationship between me and the guest in a very, less than a minute. I just thought that was a better way than doing my intro, which is really short. It's only like, it's really short, like 8 seconds. But if every time you click my video, the first thing you saw was that 8-second video, I just think it would take away. So the first thing you see on my podcast is me and that guest. And it seems, though, based on our demeanor, that you're actually watching behind the scenes, because I'm not projecting at that time. I'm really having, my demeanor is really low. So I think it could grab people in. But it's a whole lot better than every time you clicked on any of my podcasts, first thing you hear is my intro music. I just thought that.
Yeah, absolutely. That. No, you're doing, that's great. I think that's great. Part of your hook.
Part of the hook.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at any of the shows these days that are on the streaming services. About 2 seconds into an opening for a show, it says skip intro. A little button that pops up, right?
That's true.
And you just jump right through it. So that it's clear that that's a needed thing, or that's what people are clamoring for. So, I mean, it should be a huge, skylight, or whatever you want to call it, a searchlight for us, where we see that and go, as creators, we probably don't need to have an elaborate intro for our shows, right? We just don't need to do it.
Right.
People are coming in for the content. And, I think about when I started this YouTube journey a few years ago, and how much I watched content because I wasn't creating anything. I was just absorbing it. And there was a lot of content that I just, I sat through it. But nowadays, when time is short and things are, I need to listen to what I'm supposed to listen to, or watch what I'm supposed to watch, and then move on. I don't have time for a lot of these machinations, that people want to put in front of me. You're not the Tonight Show. You're not, you're not broadcast TV, right? So just get on with it. Tell me what you need to tell me, because that's why I clicked on your thumbnail, and then be done with it. And that's it. It's a very simple transaction.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. We have to make good on that verbal contract, or whatever it is. I mean, you've built up the suspense with the thumbnail, maybe even the title. Then you grab their attention with the hook. Now it's time to deliver. And so we want to be good where that's concerned. We want to make sure we're making good on that, or else you're going to see that bear out in your analytics as well. You're going to see people come in.
Oh yeah.
They're going to say, this is not what I signed up for. And they're going to click out, and you'll see that nosedive happen. 20, 30 seconds in. And that's why you really can't take a whole lot of time. I like to really start with something that's going to be grippy. I work with my editor to really put together kind of a mashup of different critical points or drop the mic moments from the podcast episode, so that you're hearing a real sneak peek of what you're going to get in the actual episode. One of the podcast episode for me that dropped today, the thing that my guest said is, if your first iteration doesn't suck, you waited too long. And it's just like, oh,
Wow.
that's a really good statement.
Good.
And
That's
so,
good.
of course, we made sure that that's in the thing. But that's not, that's 10, 15 minutes into the episode. But we put that right there at the beginning because, again, it's one of those moments where you're like, ooh, I need to hear more about, that's the idea, is really trying to make sure that person that saw the thumbnail, I won the click, got them to watch. Now I've grabbed their attention and they're settled in. Like, okay, yeah, you got my attention. I'm going to give you the full 35 minutes now because I actually feel like I'm going to benefit from hearing what this conversation is all about.
Right.
Right.
So people dislike intros so bad that even if I say intro, it's like, oh, no intro. Nobody wants an intro. I get it. And maybe I should use more of a term like a bumper than anything else. Mm-hmm. So it's not a long, drawn-out intro, but it is enough to hear a beat and then for me to talk over the top of that as a music bed getting into introducing the guest. That being said, I want to say this one more time, or Alec, I would love for you to have the platform again to talk about your accelerator for Ecamm. And I always turn words around. Ecamm Accelerator that you're doing in a couple of days next week, so people can get a gist of how they can start this year off right with learning more about Ecamm. So as they have their content strategy, they also have the knowledge and skill to be able to use Ecamm to do their content.
Yeah, you mentioned something just backstage before we came on, actually, which is about, keeping it simple. And that's the thing. Sometimes when you look at other people's setups and like their scene arrangements and, people trying to or doing very, very well at creating like really highly polished, multi-scene setups and with ridiculous studios with all the gear, but really like to use Ecamm effectively to deliver your value, which is what this all comes down to. It's how can you deliver your value more effectively through the lens, whether that's in video, on live streams, in meetings, delivering sales presentations, delivering educational presentations, whatever the case, you've just got some value to deliver. It can be as simple as a main scene with you on it and a scene with a slide deck or a screen share or something like that. You don't need to have something that's, completely over the top for this. And the key is to actually start simple because you then start building up this muscle memory. So I don't necessarily need to look down at my stream deck to know, I press this button to go to my main scene and this one to go to my screen share. And when you start building it up bit by bit like that, it really just become an extension of you. And that is this real sort of revelation that you get then when you are on a Zoom call, when you're talking with somebody, when you're on a coaching call and you just want to show somebody something. In the same way that, if you've got a brochure or something on a coffee table and you're sitting having a conversation with someone, you don't need to think, okay, how do I retrieve the coffee, the right. brochure off the table? You just reach down and grab it and then you say, oh, here, look at this, or whatever. Well, that's what Ecamm becomes. It just becomes an extension of you where you're just instinctively pressing the buttons to do whatever you want to do to bring up the right things. And then when you do need to change things on the fly, just like you did earlier, that's as easy as it gets as well, to be able to just rearrange things on the fly as you need it. And all of that is just the foundations of Ecamm, which is what we cover in the first week. And then the second week is like all of the different ways that you can apply that. But I said it before, Ecamm like genuinely changed my life because I would not be doing what I'm doing with it without it now. Because it's just made all of my content creation possible, all of my courses possible. And if I was still thinking that I got to edit stuff, I would still be on my 1000th take of, a 5-minute video, right. And not actually getting the content out there. It's the thing that has reduced the friction for me, and that's why I'm passionate about it and make the courses about it. And by the way, I do have a completely free course. This is a paid course because it's 2 weeks and we're all there together. There is also the Ecamm Live Masterclass at ecammlivemasterclass.com. And some people say, what's the difference? Is there anything more in the accelerator that isn't in the masterclass? Well, honestly, the masterclass is like the comprehensive, every menu, every feature, every function of Ecamm, and it's 150 lessons long. But actually, that sometimes can be a bit daunting to people. They want the guided path, which is, right. Okay, we're just going to get this nailed in 2 weeks. You don't have to think you've got to wade through lots of videos. We're just going to take you on a guided path for 2 weeks with the accountability and community that comes with live cohort courses. So if you've done the masterclass, the accelerator is a different experience.
I love that. And while you were talking, it reminded me of something that you taught me years ago in doing these courses. While you are pre-recording for some of the courses, not the live stuff, but pre-recording, that Ecamm actually does have a pause button. Like the pause button can go a long way to actually, just pause, breathe, get ready for the next thing, hit the button again. You're now recording and just keep going. That's the way you can take one take for your edits.
I did that. So the video I made yesterday about the Elgato prompter, like nearly all the other videos on my channel are just absolutely one take. That's it, start to finish, and then I hit the end button. Whereas the one I made yesterday about the Elgato Prompter XL, I wanted to show the prompter versus the old one. Then there was a point where I needed to take my camera out of my existing prompter and show how to mount it. And then there was another part where that was then all mounted back up in the correct position. So I used the pause button like twice, basically, or 3 times through that recording. So I started the recording, did the intro, did the comparison, press pause, undid all of my old teleprompter, 10 or 20 minutes of unscrewing things from my my studio, just hit the resume button, and then it was straight into it. So I then had a 16, 20-minute video that was all one take and no edits, but there was 3 pauses in amongst it. So awesome. The pause button's great.
That's awesome. I just had to say that's one of the things that I learned. So, guys, let's wrap it up here. I want to tell everybody that's watching, Happy New Year. This is our last show of 2025. I will be starting 2026, and my first show is titled I Quit.
Nice way to start the year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the top 10 things that I'm quitting in 2026 to actually be sure that I'm successful this year. So I'm not going to take some of those bad habits of 2025 into 2026. So I am quitting some of those things. I'm going to explain them all. So please join me so we can all quit together. And I see from the comments right now, if I could just have one negative show to where we could just talk about all the stuff that we don't like, that would probably hit. We like talking about things we don't like. So there's going to be some things I don't like. So join me next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the stream show on Ecamm's live YouTube channel. That being said, I'm going to start with you, Jeremy. If you just want to talk about some of the things that you got planned for next year, and I'll go around the list with everybody.
Yeah, well, so I mean, it's going to be kind of more of the same for me. Now that I'm working, I don't have as much time to spend creating content, but I'm going to do my best to continue to. I'm part of the moderator group here at Ecamm, so I'm going to continue to stay on top of the new features. I probably won't beat Alex at new videos or new feature videos. He's gonna probably beat me at that, but that's okay. That's okay. I've come to terms with that. But in all seriousness, I'm really gang, and when I say gang, I mean the Ecamm fam that's watching right now. What's coming from Ecamm will blow your freaking mind. Awesome. It's going to be so cool. And so you have no idea what's coming. Well, maybe you have some idea what's coming, but regardless, stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot of awesome content coming from this group of people that's on the show right now, in addition to everybody else. And then, of course, we're expecting great content from all of you. So stay tuned. Right. It's going to be really cool.
All right, Alex, cool stuff, I know what's coming up for you. You got this accelerator coming up. Anything else in the year 2026 that you have planned in the first quarter?
So I'm also running a program at the moment, which is kind of like my flagship program, and it's the first run of it, but it's called Built from the Inside Out, because what I've found over 4 or 5 years of creating videos and training, guess what? People don't actually do it. They take the course, but they don't do it. And so there's really 3 things that you need for success in anything. Is not just the systems, which is the tutorials, the guidance, but also the state. You need to be in the right frame of mind. You need to have the time allocated to it, and you need need to be working on the right things, not spinning your wheels, doing things that are not actually moving the needle. But even if you've got all of that, as a lifelong procrastinator, I know that sometimes you sit there with all the time, all the energy, all the space in front of you, and still don't do it. And that comes down to the self. And so the program Built from the Inside Out, actually we're kind of it's sort of 7 weeks into it at the moment. We've got 5 more weeks to go, but that is taking people through a guided journey using AI to understand your core character traits, because I've tried many other people's prescribed programs for productivity and things like that, but they don't work if they're not tailored to you. Right. And so that's all about launching an online business, but pairing that with using AI to understand your core character traits to build a schedule and a process that actually works for you. So that is going to wrap up in the first, sort of end of January, I guess. But then I'll be doing another launch of that almost straight after it. And that's the Freedom Formula event, is my 3-day event that leads into that. Awesome. And that will be going into the end of the quarter then.
Kirk, somebody's over in Thailand working. You hear me?
Yeah, brother.
Got it together. He is working over there. I love it, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that.
I love it.
And, sometimes awareness allows us all to kind of, be here and from the Ecamm standpoint and the community standpoint and support you. So I definitely support you in what you do. And I love the fact that you're pushing the envelope and, using your time well. Kirk, we have a date. Well, we have a time frame in January where we have to get together because our friend in Huntsville, Kevin Wooten, needs some help in his studio. He needs to be able to put a camera somewhere that's not in the way.
Let's go.
So
let's go.
I'm going to call you when we set that date up so you can go. We go to Woodwork Studio together and figure out where we can place a camera that's not in the way.
That's going to be dope.
So tell me what else you got going on coming up this year.
Man, so actually coming to a couple of things are coming down the pike, but main thing I want to share with folks is How It All Works is still here. How It All Works is still my tagline. It's actually my bread and butter. It's my strategy. It's my blueprint. I just believe that if you steward your story with content, it will do several things. Number one, it'll help you to discover your purpose. And when you discover purpose, you'll be able to change lives. And changing lives is actually how you confirm that you have discovered your purpose. But then once you change lives, man, this ends up expanding your reach and multiplying your opportunities. And that's all how it all works right there. Romans 8:28. That's my whole thing. So I always want to make sure that people know that that's there, and I'm still working on that. But just like Alec, I've got a signature program that I'm actually coming to the end of the pilot of it. It's called the A-List Digital Footprint. And it is a 9-week intensive walk with you model where I coach folks on how to redesign, reimagine, reframe, and strategize their digital footprint in a way that really meets their needs and their goals. If you're somebody who has been called a kingmaker, right? If you're somebody who has leased your impact to others, such that when your name is on a flyer, it does well, but you don't have a headquarters for yourself, you're really trying to put some of those pieces together in 2026 for yourself so that your brand can speak about you well in rooms that you may never, ever get a chance to be in, then the A-List Digital Footprint Program might be for you. There is an assessment on my website, kirkarnugent.com. Just go over there. It's right at the top right, and just click on that button to be able to take the assessment, and we'll give you a score after you answer a couple of questions to let you know where you are in that process, where your personal brand is and what the health of it is, and what are some things that you can do to get it better. But that questionnaire is also required for you to be able to be considered for the program. We've got some seats that are going to be open up pretty soon. And so, we got 10 people that are finishing up the pilot program. Going to have a graduation in mid-January. And so I'll invite others to that graduation. All of you guys are welcome to come to that graduation. It's going to be live on YouTube, but also a Zoom scenario as well. And that'll be to kick off an opportunity for people to look at it, hear what it's all about, see what the impact has been for those that have just gone through it, and potentially think about joining it for yourself. So some things that are coming down the pike that I'm really excited about. And
that's awesome.
I'm looking forward to meeting with you, Strick.
Yeah, man, we got to do it. I got to come back to Huntsville, and then we'll plan another visit to Birmingham together. It's too close not to spend a little time together creating content. Absolutely. That being said, you and your wife actually did a show around the holidays. I don't know, it was Thanksgiving. I can't remember, but it was a show where you had local
Black
business
Friday.
people come in.
Yep.
The Black Friday thing. By any chance, did you guys do any repurposing of that content?
Absolutely. The companies that have it was like a live shopping network, not even like, it was a live shopping network that we did. It was a 12-hour live stream on Black Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And we made it available for local businesses to come record a segment, and that segment would play on repeat. I think we had about a 2-hour set of content, and it would repeat 2 hours and then repeat. But yeah, we made some of the content that the businesses recorded available to them so that they could use it in their platforms. They could use it for shorts and reels and whatever else, and it has been wildly beneficial for them
Awesome.
as well. So yeah, there's, content is it's just a force multiplier, man. And so, not just, we always say this here at the Stream Show, but the skills you're learning utilizing Ecamm, because everything that I did in that particular project was Ecamm, birth,
right.
essentially, right? Ecamm made it possible. But everything you're learning with Ecamm, these are transferable skills. These are assets that you can utilize and leverage to make money, to have impact, to grow and help others. So it's just such a great world to be in. So absolutely, this is going to be awesome. Somebody asked me, when is the next season of Incubator's Couch? I'm doing the How It All Works podcast right now, and so that's kind of taking the place of Incubator's Couch. But we are looking into a new show that would be kind of Incubator's Couch adjacent, for this new brand that Strick was talking about earlier, which is Huntsville Black-Owned Businesses. That's my wife's nonprofit, and that's what we did the Black Friday stream for. So cool things coming down the pike all across the board. But thank you for the opportunity to be able to share Strick. This space, the Stream Show, is such a great space. It's a flagship for the Ecamm channel, and it's always a space where people can learn, be inspired, they can grow, they can ask questions, get great advice, and we can all go to the next level together.
You said great advice. I would say some advice. I don't know how great it is, but we absolutely love being here for the people. Closing out 2025 is such an honor to be able to do this show, and I thank you guys so very much. We do have tons planned for you next year, so stay locked. Next Sunday, January 4th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come see me because I quit. All right, guys. Thank you so very much for your time. I'll see you next Sunday.
Hey, this is DJ Strick, and I would like to thank you for watching another edition of The Stream Show.